Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. So I'm coming from Israel, a state of Israel which is smaller in size and in population than the state of New Jersey. Now, the composition, people don't always know the numbers. We're a small country, disconnected from the market, and that's what I would like to discuss about today. The complementarities between the Israeli ecosystem of innovation and the US. Also a couple of facts. For example, we here have, I know, some Israelis, and there are some startups in the cyber sector. Everybody thinks cyber security in Israel, right? However, there are less startups doing cyber in Israel than climate and sustainability today. Budgets popped up around ESG in all of the big companies around the world, and the Israelis pivoted, and a lot of them developed technologies for those sectors. There are more startups doing digital healthcare than cyber today in Israel. So those are highlights that we'd like to always map at Startup Nation Central. We're a nonprofit organization based in Tel Aviv. We have a dedicated building, 120 people, and what we do, we help global leaders to navigate and engage with Israeli innovation. We're non-for-profit, non-for-revenue. We don't charge for anything. That was the advertising part of this pitch. However, 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, we analyzed the market, counting the unicorns. We had 100 unicorns in Israel. Guess what? There are no more 100 unicorns in Israel. One of the reasons is the global crisis. We all know that. Valuation went down. However, there is also a small challenge that we're facing currently in Israel. I don't know if in the past you also had some unpopular governments in the US, but sometimes it affects the local trends. These 100 unicorns, back then, now a bit less, they are all B2B, tech-driven startups. So we don't have the Ubers and the Airbnb and the kind of startups in Israel. We do have only, for most of that, I mean, more than 90% of the money invested in Israeli startups is actually in B2B tech-driven startups. Do you know a company called PrimeSense? You don't know PrimeSense? No one knows PrimeSense. I used to be the head of business development in this company called PrimeSense. We did the 3D sensor in the Kinect. You know, the Xbox gesture control Kinects. We sold 20 million units to Microsoft. We also were acquired by Apple. I have on my office the first prototype of the Face ID from the iPhone 10. So you know PrimeSense. You probably have one of those devices in your pocket right now. So that's a typical Israeli company. They are embedded in all of the global leading products in the world. Not all of them still. We're trying to facilitate that. But what I'm saying is that they can disrupt the product. They can also help those companies to be better, improve their processes, reduce their costs. And that's what we're doing today. We are trying to promote those kind of solutions. This is actually a database called the Startup Nation Finder that we developed in Israel. This is the most exhaustive database in the world for an ecosystem. As everything that we do, it's free of charge, and you can browse that and discover that in your sector of activity, there are like hundreds and hundreds of startups that may be relevant for what your guys are doing. So that's the message I wanted to convey. So thank you for your attention, and of course, feel free to talk to me. And I know that I'm between you and lunch now, so I'm going to try to.
One quick question, if you could just maybe give a moment on Startup Nation Central, just kind of the history and kind of where it came from and the mission.
Startup Nation Central, do you know the Startup Nation book? You heard about that concept? So there was a book. And this book actually was written by Saul Singer and Dan Senor. And out of this book, there was this idea that Israel could be helping to solve global challenges through technology. So we started this initiative. I'm actually the longest serving person in this organization for almost 10 years. And what we're doing right now is that we are building this platform that gives objective input. So our scenario starts abroad with the challenges. We analyze the challenges and the tools that companies develop to engage with innovation in general. And we take that, and we find in Israel the right solutions. It's true that engaging with startups is a tactical goal. We are trying to equip those companies and to help them to make those strategic decisions on how to do it in the long term.
I think innovation is always one of those interesting words, and it's very difficult to kind of facilitate. But truly in Israel, there is a fantastic innovation ecosystem. Part of the reason for that being a lot of very good talent that goes into military, develops, creates something, and now goes to the private sector to then repeat it. And so if you've never been to Israel, first of all, I highly recommend it.
Who was in Israel? Raise your hand. See,
great place. And for those of you who didn't raise your hand, you can come visit Jeremy there. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your attention.